Hey, yo.
Boom. Wow. Look who we have back in the co-pilot seat this evening. It's been a minute, Jeremy. It has
Yeah,
been a minute.
yeah. Um,
Now,
been a little busy.
before I let you get running here, because I know you've got a million things to talk about, a million and one things to talk about. I've been taking a page out of your playbook and learning and listening to what you've been telling us all along. You've got to kind of watch the other YouTube influencers or and YouTube shows that are out there. I know you use YouTube the way it was meant to be, and you get out there and see all kinds of crazy channels and whatnot. But the one thing I do notice, they do a proper intro, and I kind of was watching what we're doing here on a Saturday, and I was like, man, we kind of leave a couple of things out, and that is we are streaming to you live uh, through Facebook, YouTube, and on Instagram. So wherever you are watching, thank you for being here. And as always, I am Mike, owner operator of Carry All RC, with my longtime co-host and longtime friend, the Sergeant Major, the man that needs no introduction, at Ease RC on Instagram and YouTube. How are you, sir? And I do get to say one thing, Jeremy. I've
Shoot.
been waiting for 2 freaking years to say this. It's a UFO. There is literally it's a UFO kind of vibe,
I,
buddy.
I don't think it's technically a UFO since it's identified.
I don't know if I've heard anybody step up and claim it. I'm going to say UFO for right now. I'm
I'll
not
let you.
calling little green men. I am not saying little green men. I'm just
I'll let you.
saying
I'll let you. I'll let you have UFO.
we're letting
Small win for you. Yeah.
everybody has got their eyes to the sky right now. And it's making it very difficult for the UFO community now because this is not what we needed. But I need to ask you, Mr. Maryland, have you seen a drone above the skies of the house you live in?
No.
Nothing. Okay.
No. And I
Nothing.
live. I mean, basically, we have commercial airspace above us,
Okay. Are
and
you sort of
military.
no fly? Are you kind of a no fly zone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Between the army base, and we're in the BWI corridor. Uh, so yeah, it's not like a no fly zone, but I mean, I don't see. I mean, I haven't seen any drone activity personally, but
Well,
I mean,
so if
it's
you would look up in the sky on a normal night, so you're saying military airport, wouldn't be a commercial airport where you would typically see airplanes maybe stacking, waiting to land. That's not what you're not like
no,
where we are near the Philadelphia airport. You can look over that direction and literally see them stacking them up and waiting to
yeah,
land.
yeah. I mostly see like helicopters and stuff like that. Mil spec type aircraft. Um, I mean, and we have low flying planes that are going into BWI on their final approach. Normally from like the New York LaGuardia area. So yeah, I don't really. We have pretty clear skies. I don't generally see much of that stuff. So yeah,
Son of a gun.
what?
I have been so freaking busy. Yesterday we pretty much put the exclamation mark and put the end to 2024 officially yesterday by picking my daughter up from college. And we
Ooh,
had the RA come through the dorm, sealed the door off and gave it the stamp of approval because everything had to be refrigerator unplugged,
yeah,
food taken out, space heaters pulled out, beds. I mean, we had all the work that we put into setting the room up.
you
Six
got to
months
tear it all
later,
down.
we're breaking it all
Yep.
down. It was, and as I stood there for a second, I'm like, holy crap, that's it for the year. We won't be
Yeah.
back until next year. And that being said, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you.
I just happened to turn my Facebook on here, and here you are thanking everybody
Yeah.
for a wish. So you're welcome for your official happy belated
Yeah.
birthday.
And Facebook isn't announcing people's birthdays in the feeds like they used to.
No kidding. That
Yeah,
was the one
so
cool thing I liked about Facebook.
yeah, you had the Facebook reminder. That all that says is,
Yeah.
Facebook is the devil, and it takes the certain things out of our memory bank, like birthdays. Like, if you don't remember it, you don't remember it unless you go looking for birthdays on your homepage or whatever they call it.
Right.
But yeah, it's if you don't remember, nothing's there to remind you right now. So I don't
That's
know
funny.
if it's an oversight on their update or if they're just not going to support it anymore. So it's hard to tell. But thank you, and thank you everyone for the happy birthdays.
Well, that's a big deal. Can we ask, what does that make you, Sergeant Major? Or is that an official 50, or are you
51?
50? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So
Alrighty.
51, retired, unemployed, happily.
Hey,
yeah.
Retired unemployed though. That's a difference. So
yeah,
you've lived a smart life. There are many military people that say, I wish I was stuck it out. I could have gotten out early.
Yeah. It's a rough life, but it's worthwhile. Especially when you get to retire at 50.
Yeah, well, that leaves you a little bit of free time. I know you keep busy, but it's been a minute since you've sat here across from us. You missed a couple of things. We had our boy Rick Perry here showing off snow plows a couple weeks ago, and then while you where were you? I'm assuming Wes. I know you flew out west for was it a Christmas party?
The world's most expensive Christmas party I've ever attended. So yeah, the wife and I flew to Vegas for a night, and then we rented a car, drove to Corona, California, went to Reefs.
How many hours was that from driving from Vegas?
3 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
No.
So
and the way
technically, that's how you do it for Proline by the Fire. Has been the secret. I was always told, land in Vegas. It's a little cheaper. Get your airplane flight to Vegas and then drive in to Proline by the Fire at 3 hours.
So Southwest Airlines flies out of BWI. That's one of their home ports. Vegas is another home port for Southwest. So to fly from BWI direct to Vegas is like $129 each way. So it's not bad. It's pretty affordable. And renting a car in Vegas is cheaper than renting a car in California because of the tax and availability and whatnot. So it just makes it a little easier, cheaper. Plus, we like Vegas. So we stayed at Vegas. That was the extra expense we really didn't have to do. We could have just stayed in California after flying in and driving, but we chose to stay in Vegas for a night on the front side and the back side. So, but it was good. It was a great Christmas party. Got to hang out. Reef let us, the wife and I, stay at his house along with Corey Allen and why did his name just run out of my head?
Scott Bray.
Scott Bray. Thank you. We all stayed there, which was a great time. Got rides in the Lamborghini and all that stuff. So it was pretty cool.
In a Lamborghini. I love it.
Yeah, the old Lambo. Yep.
I always make I just always make the joke, I'm like, hey, I'm not rolling in the dough here. There's no Lamborghini in the driveway. Now
Yeah.
Reeves can officially say he can't officially say that anymore. It's he's
Yeah.
officially got
It's
the
not in the
Lambo
driveway. It's in the garage. It's a
in
very
the
nice
garage.
garage at that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
the parking spot's appropriate, the appropriate lighting. I mean, it's my
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh yeah.
And that sound, that cold start, you stopped me in my tracks when I'm like, I could
Well,
feel it. I could only imagine what that's like in person. Like,
oh yeah. It gets you. It gets you in the chest.
feel it.
Yeah.
That is now that cannot be a daily driver. And I know
No,
it's Cali. Everybody's got Lamborghinis and Ferraris. It's California. I get it, but
not everybody, but I mean, it's definitely a a fun
it's
car
seen.
for him.
You're gonna go to California, and if you don't see a Lamborghini, you were in the wrong part of California. It's just,
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of that out there. Daily Driven Exotics is a good YouTube channel. They're all over the place with their exotic cars. Free revving them and deafening people, fire out the exhaust and all that stuff. Not really my caliber, my speed, but still, it's pretty cool in its own right, and it's fun to watch. They do dumb
Oh
stuff all the
yeah,
time on the internet. So
I watched
mm,
two guys in hot rods, very fast cars. You're sitting in a seat with them, and they are doing a game. Who can get a ticket? Not just speeding. Who can get a ticket first? The dude sees a cop car off to the side. He passes somebody on the shoulder. Cop pulls him over. He begins to start writing the dude a ticket. His buddy he's playing against sees him already pulled over, so he blows past them and blows the doors in, almost knocks the
yeah,
cop over, so he doesn't write that guy the ticket because it's
right.
your lucky day. Chases the other dude.
Jeez,
I'm
like
loving
we
it.
could do this all day. Just running
I'm
back.
just gonna keep one upping you.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, that is. It cracked me up.
Oh
So
man,
it was an official Christmas party. Is that what
yeah,
happened? Okay.
is the annual Reefs RC Christmas party. So it's a small invite gathering.
So it was not a public thing,
Oh no, no, it's not public.
open to the
No,
team, or not even that public. It was by
not quite that public. I mean,
not even
it's a
open.
the invitation is out there for the team members to go, and you had to commit by a certain day. I mean, this was
Okay.
6 months ago. So it,
Ironically, we had Mr. Reef RC himself on here last
yeah,
Saturday night. We sat down with Byron Clinton.
oh yeah,
Got to hear the life story of Byron and what he's been doing. Now he goes way back with Reef. I mean, I think he's
yeah,
2017, something like that. He's
mhm,
way back in the early day.
yep,
But it was great to take a look in Byron's shop and see what he's been up to.
yeah.
So
Byron and I have been around about the same amount of time
I,
on the Reefs team. Yeah,
I was going to say, yeah, I was there probably right around that time from 17 to 19 ish, probably
yeah,
those first 2 years, but early day, like when we were there when
yeah.
they were
He
just
had
getting
two.
going. The
He had two
422
surveys.
HD, 422 HD. I still have it wrapped in
Yeah.
that brass band. And
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah,
he only when I got on, he only had the 422 and the 444.
and the 444. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And look,
Look where he's at now.
yeah, you can talk about success stories, and there
Yeah.
is no way you cannot talk about Reef and congratulating him on, a job well done. Job well done, and congratulations.
Yeah.
Good guy. A very couldn't, some of the good guys out there, and Reef is one of
Mhm.
them.
Yep.
So
Yep.
happy for him. Very happy.
Definitely. Definitely. And
Um,
amongst all that, I was doing other stuff.
yes.
So I got a message and a call from James Knight wanting to see if I wanted to help with a project that he was looking to do last year and couldn't
Yeah.
find anybody to do it.
I remember when he teased it out.
Yeah.
This literally saw a crack of light.
Yeah.
A year ago.
And so
glad-
he started off by saying, "Hey, are you familiar with CalRC?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm familiar." And he's like, "Well, do you know Heath?" And I was like, "Yeah, we talk."
Maybe.
He's like, "Oh, that's fantastic." So,
man.
So we got that
I'm
project.
going to find a
ground.
photo here. I'm going to get one so we can upload it. I can show the photo that you sent me, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping that
they're
mine
out
would have been here today. I rolled the dice and I ran out to the mailbox at 5 o'clock and I was like, is it our last chance? No. But I'm going to pull up the photo.
I shipped yours and Josh Dutton at the same day. And
Did Josh get his?
Texas. He got it today in Texas. So, which is crazy because you're 100 miles from here.
Yeah, that is too funny. No, I went right back out at again at 7 o'clock, one last check, and yeah,
it's all right. But yeah, it was for a managed amount, and I have their exclusive rights to sell a completed kit, which is Scale Garage ready. And people will understand when you pull up the picture what I'm talking about. But it's easier to show you than explain it. But Heath was tickled to death. He got his package yesterday morning, so he has an amount that he's going to distribute to his people and throw in some orders, from what I understand, which is kind of cool. But they're up for sale on my Etsy site, so they are generally available, and I ship daily, working days. But yeah, you'll have to kind of modify the picture to see what's.
Yeah, hang on one second. I'm going to slide it. I forgot I had the
there you go
overlay up there. Yeah, I had the overlay up.
Yeah. So,
but that's a perfect photo. Staged perfectly.
Yeah, thank you. But it's it's the Moo environment, the staples, right? So it's a magmat, the rubber mat.
I love the jet air blaster. That is
the air blaster, the hide wipes, the 4 cans, the spray cans, the concentrate, and udder butter are included, and the magmat is real magnet.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
What does that measure then? What if it's maybe 2 inches or inch?
Let's see. What do I got here? I got a ruler here. So the magmat is 50 by, I'd say 60.
So
let me grab a real ruler here.
Are we thinking? Was that on a caliper, like 1/2 inch? Then are we dealing?
We'll do it. We'll do it in inches here.
Okay.
So the whole pad, that's the whole piece here, is 2.5 inches tall by roughly 3 inches wide. So 2 by 3 is the whole square.
Wow.
And then the magmat's an insert inside of there. I just have double stick tape on there just to keep it down. Thank you, Radioactive Scale. Appreciate that. So yeah, these are printed mats on my bamboo in 2 color. So the words are actually there for the most part. I mean, there's only so much you can get at that scale, but it gets the point across. And then things like the hide wipes are printed in 2 color. So.
Okay, so it's an actual white and black.
White and black. Yeah.
Is it a label then, or sticker? Or what are we doing? How are you getting that?
There is. I had decals made, so you can apply them yourself. They're in the kit.
Okay.
This is what the kit looks like when you get it.
Okay.
But the decals are inside the bag as well as the magmat. cut them out with scissors, and it's a heat reactive adhesive, so you can kind of warm it up in your hand. Like once you put it on, you can just sit there and warm it up, and then glue will stick a little bit better. Or you can just wrap some Scotch tape around it and make like a clear label over wrap, and it'll never peel up once it's on there. Which is what I did. I like the tape look on there because it gives it that gloss
look. Yeah.
piece. Get my face out of there and maybe focus. Yeah, but I think it looks great either way.
Now they do make a whole bunch of like ultra clear tape, and this can be done if you take your time and you cut it. Some of that ultra, I've bought the stuff before doing the same process. It's ultra clear. It kind of looks like it's got a clear shrink wrap around it.
Yeah, basically. And these decals are in a high gloss clear, printed here locally by one of our hobby shops in Pasadena, Maryland. He does large scale printing. He does banners and all that stuff on decals, wraps, all that stuff.
Was printing this scale new to him?
No, not really.
No.
So the file format was the challenge more than the scale. He ran a hobby shop for ages. It's Bay Area computers and hobby. And he's done decals at this scale for a long time. So it wasn't new to him. His prices are very reasonable, and he was able to do it. Basically, I went in, I sent him the material. He did a proof for me. Me and my son drove down, and we proofed it. And I was like, hey, will you ship it? And he's like, I'll tell you what. He's like, go to lunch, come back, and then they'll be done. And I was like, okay. So we went to lunch, gone for maybe 45 minutes, came back, they were on the counter, ready to roll. So he's a good dude, treated me really well. So I think that's the only, I think I'm the only one with printed decals. I think James is going to offer the set as a downloadable. But you'll have to figure out your decals or print them on your own to label them up.
It's the devil though. Getting that kind of resolution, that scale. I know my do-it home printer would not pull this off.
And I did the colorization, so the prints that you get won't be color ready. You would have to be able to do that in your slicer software. So,
oh crap. Okay. You're saying if you bought the file to print it yourself.
Yeah, it would be a single color file.
Yeah.
And then you would have to colorize or print them, slice them in some way. I don't know how else you would do it other than do the paint feature in the slicer to get multicolor.
You know what, Jeremy? That sets us up here for something, because it's been a minute since you've been here, and 2 weeks ago, maybe, when Rick Perry was the Snowplow King was here with us, I opened the weekly Rad Show with a aha moment. Was not an official apology, but it was a acceptance of I was wrong. I sat here across from you and talked about Creality, and was very proud of what was happening with Creality and the K1 and all of that. And I'm going to be very careful. I'm not going to knock the K1. The printer itself is now magic. I'm basically reprinting everything under the sun that I've already printed once already, all because of the bamboo slicer. Jeremy, it's unbelievable. The bamboo slicer is a game changer.
Yeah, that software, it's very powerful. And as you dig into it, you can really
discover more and more. And that's where I was learning, peeling layers back, cutting it, putting in a pause, allowing me to stop, change filament color. And that's a fraction. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the first layer. That's you're right. You can dig deep. The bamboo slicer, and I've heard rumors of this before, even when Creality, years ago, even with the Ender 3, people would tell me, do not use Creality's slicer, use this one, it's
Yeah.
so much better. And I never wanted, it always felt like a hack, like some kind of DIY hack that was going to mess it up, and I just didn't want to try it.
Yeah.
I am so glad that I went this direction. Now, obviously, Jeremy, I 100% will still tell you the bamboo is got to be better, with this ability to print in multicolor, the
Yeah.
detail, but everything that I've ever questioned before, when I've asked you, like, I print the same thing as you and I get it back in one way, and I'm like, well, how did you deal with this? I kept telling you about the back of the CJ, and I would tell
Mhm.
you, like, the walls were weak. Like I said, it's collapsing when I'm going to pull the supports out. Bro, literally the hinges for the tailgate fit like a glove.
Mhm.
The wall, the support underneath, everything is here rigid.
Yeah.
The detail, there are pieces. I redid a cockpit for the Vanquish, the single seater. Never did this
Mhm.
before. The layers of detail of things I'm seeing in the seat buckle that I never knew were there before. Like, in the
That's cool.
eyes, in the
Yeah.
faces, it's unbelievable. And the other
Yeah.
thing I did, you convinced me to go to the flesh tone
Yeah.
filament. It's a game changer. The
Yeah.
flesh tone, it's
And
one less thing.
when you do this, and get my
Now
face out
you're
of here
doing that with
a
the
little
bamboo.
focus, and you can actually paint the eyes into your print. So that's printed. That's not painted,
That's not
and
painted.
that's not painted. That's all print. It changes the game for sure.
Dramatically.
Yeah.
Dramatically.
Now the cost is time. So
Yes.
your time increases dramatically when you start
Can you
changing
give me
colors.
a ballpark, like an hour, single color, an
So
hour to
single color, 30 minutes.
single color, 30-minute? Drum
Three
roll,
colors,
please.
4.5 hours. And a lot of waste because it's purging. So like this one with the eyes being colored in, the whites of the eyes are layered, the pupils are layered, the outline of the eye is layered. So you got to think every time that printer goes across that line, it has to change color 3 times. So it takes a lot of time, and it's got to purge that nozzle every time. So is it really worth it? Probably not. Definitely not worth it unless you're just that person that wants it. I did one of them and I was like, I'll just hand paint it. I'll print them in flesh tone completely, and then I'll paint from there. Because the flesh tone is the hardest color to get right, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% fact. Yeah. It's an absolute game changer. I'm so glad I switched to that. And the third thing that I did differently this week was I went to a higher, more durable filament. I
Mhm.
PLA Pro. That
PLA
is the
Pro.
new thing
Yeah.
that I am playing with, this PLA Pro,
Mhm.
and you can feel it. You can see it. You
Yeah.
can, everything about this filament is different and for the better. Once you go pro, you're never going back. I am literally sold. Like, so happy.
Yeah, it's so I've been printing with the PETG HF.
HF. And what's
H,
HF?
so
High
HF
P
is like a it's a high
high
fiber.
Okay.
PETG. So it has strength, but it still has its flexibility, but it's sunlight stable. So you get details. It prints like PLA,
Hang on.
looks like PLA.
So hold that up again. Hold that up. I'm sliding you in the middle here, I think.
Here's some sandboards from the Knights, from the Jeep kit, the JL.
Okay.
Other string. Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow.
So that's sunlight
Wow.
stable. So it's not going to warp in the sun or anything like that. You know, there's
Wow. What color is that? Is that like a
this is
matte gray?
matte gray. And
Wow.
this is the red.
It
So
looks like it had like after I've dusted it with that infill, that red
yeah,
body filler.
yeah. It's much brighter redder in
Okay.
person.
In person.
But
Okay.
it's about the same color as the red CJ body, which is why I
Okay.
printed
Wow.
it in that.
Okay.
But it's, you know, stable stuff. This is black.
It's gorgeous. So that's all the same thing. This is all that
same material.
PETGHF. Is that what you're saying? Wow.
Yes.
That's a mouthful.
And I think the biggest part of that HF is make sure you dry it before you use it. I printed it for I did optic panels in each of those colors. And then I put the rolls away and I changed over to a different filament for a while. And then I went back to the gray, and it was bubbling. So I knew it had moisture in it. So I put it in the dryer, and it comes out butter smooth. So make sure you're drying your filament. It's, our humidity is crazy right now here in the mid-Atlantic. So
you keep referring to it as drying. I watched some videos on this, and it's also almost heating it up. So if you have a high temp, it's kind of helping to heat it.
Yes, I can. I have the Creality dehydrator, so it's got 2 rolls in it, and I can print out of that into the bamboo as an external spool. But I don't generally print out of it. I like the way bamboo feeds, so I just put it into my AMS and run it from there. But
Gotcha.
I don't really do it to warm it. I do it to pull the moisture out of it. But it does warm it up. Yeah,
it could warm it up, and I think that
yeah,
for some of these higher temp,
like right now I'm printing in ABS, so it's I didn't shut the door, so you can probably hear my printer in the background. But it's, ABS is super high temp, and it likes that warmer filament and warm chamber. But I dry it before I print with it too.
Do you know offhand the PETGHF what kind of temps we're dealing with? Is it like a 250-ish? Do you know what the bed is?
Off the top of my head, I don't.
I don't. Okay.
No.
I was just curious. Yeah, because this, where I'm at, some of these things are a little bit more difficult to deal with. I had to get a small space heater to set up kind of near the machine, just to make sure, the room temperature around it's not impacting it. There are days where it is so cold out here, the printer will not print because the sensor
can't get it warm enough.
Correct. It like the machine just thinks there's a problem, not going to happen. So you need to, get the temperature around it under control.
Yeah.
That's just the downside of printing in a shed.
Yeah, and honestly, the downside of ABS is the volatile chemical release when it does print. So you have a lot of like a film inside of your print chamber. Yeah, that looks good.
This was just the PLA Pro, but getting that netting in there, like I did not think I was changing the bar door, the tube doors
Yeah.
on my CJ, I was totally happy with the ones I had. Nope.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have to go back through my entire portfolio of all the years I've been printing and look at everything all over again. It's opened my eyes to a whole new world.
Yeah.
And I think now, honestly, if I get the room, now that we're moving my son up to the 3rd floor, we might take over his room.
Okay.
That might become a
Cool.
bamboo lab. I would do the bamboo if I had a climate controlled room.
Yeah.
Where I could set up appropriately.
Yeah.
Stuffing it out here in the shed under a workbench is not.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're, like I was saying, if having an enclosure is important. If you're going to do those, the ASAs or ABS or ABS-GF or any of those type
High.
where you need that temperature in the chamber, you need the chamber. But then on the other side of that is you got to clean that chamber. So you got to wipe down the inside of that machine every so often to get all that residue off of everything, because it's sitting on the carbon rods, it's sitting on the stainless steel, it's sitting on the camera lenses that tell you that things are going right or wrong. It's on all the glass. So like there's more maintenance when you use those materials. So I get about 50 hours or so with that material, basically 2 spools, and then I do a full clean, power it down for a day and really scrub it with 80% rubbing alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Printing with that kind of stuff, there's just a lot to it. And I couldn't believe how hot everything was. Like the bed was like,
Oh yeah.
a temperature I never used before. You could feel everything was different.
Oh, yeah.
The smells coming,
Mhm.
the smell of the components were different because it
Yeah.
had never been that hot before. I was in this 280, 300, 100-degree bed, like
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah. It's a new ball game.
It is.
For sure. But yeah, those plates, man, you gotta be careful taking them out because they're right on the edge of burning your fingers. I mean, it's not hot enough to take your fingerprint off, but it's hot enough to let you know something hot's in your hand. And I
So
I
are you
swap 'em.
changing your plate texture?
Yeah.
Are you going to different plates when you go to ABS or these
No,
higher print?
I have 4 of the gold pie plates, and
Okay.
I just rotate through them. I have a
Okay.
cooling rack with where parts can sit on them, because I learned from somebody else's mistake, and that is every time you pull a plate out, you put a plate in immediately. Do nothing else. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Always put a plate back on the bed, because if you mess up and you print directly on your hotbed,
By
you're
accident.
going to have a problem.
Because
Big
there's
problem.
always going to be a divot in that
Yeah.
area. Okay.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it's bamboo's good because it says, hey, you don't have a plate in.
No
before
kidding.
you print. It's looking for it.
Oh, that's
But
funny. Okay.
I don't even want to risk it. Like I don't even want it to hot extrude drop onto that surface. I want to keep that as perfect as possible.
That is the LiDAR, that
Yeah.
LiDAR technology that's auto leveling and checking all
Mhm.
that stuff. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Wow. So do your gold plates, do they bend at all?
Yeah.
Are they're
Yeah.
flex, so you can pop something off?
Yeah, they pop.
Jeremy, there was one other thing that changed with the bamboo slicer, and that was the infill and the way it prints supports are
Mhm.
literally break away. So when
Yeah.
I printed these tube doors, when it cooled down enough, I popped it and it
Yeah.
literally is popping off.
Yeah.
Like
There's a fine line on certain filaments, like PLA. Wait for it to get cold, and you're part of pop right off. ABS.
I was
Wait for
doing
to
it
go
too
cold,
soon.
pop it right off.
My thing was right off the bed, I wanted to see it.
PETG, do it while it's still warm. If you wait for it to get cold, it almost fuses itself back together.
What
you gotta
rack
do a
is
lot
that
of
for?
time.
Is that
The
for a
JL.
Vanquish?
No, the JL. Axial.
10-3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the
You
customer requested.
can't print an SCX6 roof rack on your Bamboo, can you?
Not in one piece.
Not in one piece. Yeah, neither could I. I think the beds are very similar, but
Yeah.
that's a big, that SCX6 roof rack is
Mhm.
a big mama. I'm hoping that James does one where he breaks it down a little bit. Maybe it should have been printed in pieces.
Yeah, it should be. It should be like a click together or something.
Yeah.
And I'm answering a question here from Radioactive Scale. You know, I did order that super tack plate for my PETG, and if Bamboo would have shipped it back in November 11th when I ordered it, that would have been great because I'd be using it right now. But Bamboo unfortunately ran into some logistics issues and never processed my order until yesterday from November 11th. So 32 days, my order did nothing but collect interest in their bank account. So all of my holiday print materials that I ordered in November still haven't come yet. They haven't even shipped yet. They
Who was
processed the
this
order.
with?
Bamboo.
Okay.
They
Wow.
ran into some significant issues. They really burned a lot of bridges with the customer base.
Was this
That-
supply chain issue with certain filament, or was
not
it beyond
no,
that?
it's their warehouse, their order fulfillment centers. No employees.
Wow.
They over marketed their sales beyond their physical
Capacity.
inventory.
Wow.
And they did it in every one of the warehouses because apparently they don't have their own employees. They use contracts, and those contracts had already been
Honored or
honored with other companies during the holiday season.
oh,
So
man.
it cut all of their staff.
Double dipping.
Yeah, they
The-
made a big mistake. People are not happy. Like there's people that are like, I put in a service ticket because it's usually 7 days max. You'll get a shipping notice. Like 10 days went by. I'm like, I haven't heard anything about my order. I put in a ticket. I didn't get it. Still haven't gotten a response on that ticket yet. Like they shut off all communications out of that place. Yesterday they put out a announcement that they're going to make it up to us. They're going to give us a discount code for not receiving our orders and them not processing. The problem is I lost probably hundreds of dollars in business. Other companies probably lost thousands in business by not having material. They're giving us $10
in a
in
discount
a
code.
discount code that I can't use until
Wow.
after January 16th. And I have to use it before the 31st of January. So I have 14 days, 15 days roughly to use a $10 gift code.
Thank you.
Or me being out of business for over 45 days now.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
It's not enough. I think they really screwed the pooch, which allowed me to explore some other filament options.
So that was my question. Jeremy, do you normally order your filament from Bamboo, or was this because of a Black Friday sale that they were running? You did it?
I ordered before the Black Friday sale started, before it was even announced. I usually use Bamboo filaments.
Okay.
Because they're coded for the machine. They have the RFID. I put it in the machine. I don't have to do.
It recognizes it.
It just says, "Oh, there you are," and that's what color you are, which I love because I'm a simple man. But I'm figuring out ways around that. I have so much Bamboo empty spools that I can take the RFID tags and put them on other brand filaments.
I was just wondering because it's not going to know what the filament is. It's only recognizing the tag.
Yeah, but I want to put it in and the machine say, oh, this is PLA or this is PLA plus or PLA tough or whatever it is. I want the machine to do that. I don't want to have to make the settings. So that's what I've been doing. But I had to, I had to drop back and spend hundreds more on other filament brands, just so I could keep printing. Like this entire project with CalRC was dependent on that order, and I never got it. So this is printed in a different manufacturer. So yeah, but kind of feel my way through. Some of them print better than others. You can get good stuff on Amazon. You can get terrible stuff on Amazon. And some of them are spooled very poorly. So if you don't have a respooler, like you're putting a very large risk in putting it in your machine and it not binding up and exploding inside the AMS. So, yeah.
You find
Elegoo is good stuff. And actually Creality's stuff is pretty stable.
they're high speed, I forget what they call it.
Yeah, their high speed is kind of the specs are the same as Bamboo's regular stuff. I don't know why they're calling it high speed.
Hyper speed or whatever
hyper speed. I don't.
Ludicrous.
Yeah, it all prints fast to me.
Yeah.
Hyper PLA. That's it. Hyper PLA. Yeah, I'm not a wizard in that stuff, but it all prints fast.
Yeah. I think honestly you've got to find the filament that you're comfortable with and one that works in your machine. I've had good luck, bad luck.
And I do no cardboard spools. I will not use a cardboard spool. Those things are a disaster waiting to happen in an AMS.
Wow.
Like that cardboard edge will start getting chewed up. I don't care if you print those rings and all that stuff to put on there. They're all wonky and pass.
They put them out there to save a buck, and you get what you pay for.
Absolute trash unless you're going to re-spool it onto a decent plastic hard spool. I like Bamboo spools because they lock together. Super easy to manipulate. It's a good system. It's just a shame that they shot themselves in the face.
They had maybe in the last two years, I would say, an explosion of growth. They came onto the market and people just everywhere you turn, there is a bamboo. They're everywhere.
People are brand loyal too, right? Like, so if you buy a Chevy, you're going to buy that Chevy, or you're going to buy a Chevy aftermarket product to go on your Chevy. And Bamboo's kind of the same way. Like, you get that brand loyalty, but when you start burning people on, these aren't even back orders. These were in stock orders that were never processed in their facility for 40 days. Could you imagine?
Wow.
You taking an order and a customer's money and saying nothing for 40 freaking days. Like, you would be canceled on the internet.
Yeah.
Like it's not, no small business would survive something like that. Like,
correct.
Go to Dunkin' Donuts, pay at the window, and sit there for 40 days waiting on your coffee to be given to you. It's not going to work. And they just expect us all to like take $10 and be happy with that. Sorry. Yeah. Now, I've
seen small mom and pops do similar, but like you said, they do not walk away from that unharmed. That reputation stays with them for a very long time.
And of course they prioritized all the printer sales, and they delivered all their printers within 15 days. But anybody that ordered filament or accessories we didn't matter. We didn't matter. It was the $700 printers. That's what mattered to them.
They went for the big bucks.
Very, very money grabby, with very low transparency until yesterday, and that it was too long to wait. But I digress. Let's talk about RC stuff.
Excellent. Let's do it. Lay it on me. What has changed in the world of
Well,
There's been so much. I know it's been a week. It's been 2.
So we had the Vanquish Trucks of Fortune, the Optic Kit release. So they've been, you can't go on Facebook with a RC car and not see something from somebody whining about what they got for the Vanquish Trucks of Fortune, which is like it's a straight up gamble, and people know it, and then they get pissy about it, or
When
they
they
want to weigh their
lose.
box. I don't get it. Like I've gotten good deals, I've gotten bad deals. I got an okay deal this year for Trucks of Fortune. I got a carbon VRD carbon, some axle housings, nothing, no colors, no wheels, but the value.
But you had a good year last year, though. So
well, I got the exact same. I got the exact same thing last year in one box, and then I was like, that was a little let down. So I got a second box. The second box was pretty decent, but I do them every year. I do them in July. I do them in December. It's not a big deal.
Is that like a twice a year kind of gimmick that they do this? Okay.
They do Trucks of Freedom in July, and they do Trucks of Fortune in the Black Friday time frame. Yeah. But the Optic Kit was released at the same time with the variable colors. Like you got 6 colors and a possibility of getting carbon fiber panels. People were like,
color did you get?
I got teal. I got not teal, the green. I got Huff. Okay. And I'm fine with that. I don't run stock panels anyway, but it's.
But what did it come with? A wrap? Is it literally like a?
Yeah, it's a decal sheet and the lime green panels.
I scrolled through all the different ones, and there was some catchy livery. Yeah. There was some cool art. There definitely was.
Yeah. Now the ones to get are the carbon fiber, which are mixed in. It's not a 7th. It's kind of like a bonus. And they're mixed in, and they'll always be mixed in. So there's no rush to try and find a set. Like eventually they're going to all be out there for quite, reasonable prices. They'll never sell the carbon panels, but they said that they'll continue production of them until the kit's dead. So, yeah. Love it or leave it on the carbon panels. They'd be cool, nichey to, put in a cabinet or something, but.
How many optics is this now for you? What are we up to?
Well, see, that's where things get kind of crazy. So I got my optic. Now Heidi has an optic. And then
the dog has an optic.
I got a kit, and I built one out of spare parts. So now I'm back to 4 optics. Now the kit I haven't built yet, so I'm not really worried about that one yet. But the one that I built out of parts, I had enough parts to build a stock optic, but what fun is that? I mean, come on. I've been down that road. I got stock stuff. So, dare to be different in this world. And I built a 3-link optic, short wheelbase, 155 wheels, 419 tire, with dark earth F10Ts on the 3-link. So it's it's a little bit of a mashup, and you got to change some stuff to make them 3-link that they don't really advertise. But it's pretty wicked looking.
The clickbait for 2 weeks ago, we had clickbait art that went up. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Are you kidding me? Look at the Toyotas. Tiny tire. Oh my God.
Yeah. With the Toyotas. So
that is unbelievable.
It's probably sacrilege just to even build these axles and take them out of the plastic, but I really don't give a crap. There's probably hundreds of these things out there in dark earth. I don't really care. I'm going to run them. I like the Yoda axle. I got my full articulation with everything. It all works.
It doesn't even. So, it looks like a different truck. The stance, it changed it completely.
Yeah. It's
It looks like a different scale truck.
Mm-hmm. It's a shorter wheelbase, so you got to extend the front and shorten the rear. So you can see how much longer the front is than the rear.
Yeah.
Like this rear drive shaft, I had to take 5 millimeters off of this, 5 millimeters off of the center drive, and 5 millimeters off of the front one to get it to fit. And those are the shortest Vanquish parts.
It looks like a Tamiya from a distance.
I don't know about a Tamiya, but it's like it's very very euphorious, I guess. So yeah,
Wow.
I got to put electronics in it, and then I'm doing, since I put Toyota axles on it, I'm going to do FJ body panels. So it'll be a
Okay.
Toyota.
My head hurts looking at that. Wow. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Not your average optic. So
Wow. That's cool. But
so now I have a
no.
portal.
I
I have
need
a
to hear
portal optic.
about gold. Gold, 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 gold.
Oh, you want to see the
Gold.
gold axles?
I want to see gold. Our
Oh.
clickbait from 2 weeks
Hmm.
ago, Jeremy, you didn't make it home in time, was all about gold. We literally teased the gold Shriel axles housings were coming. I've got to see this.
So we got gold, baby.
Unfreaking believable.
Yeah.
I didn't.
All the gold on a gold chassis, gold wheels, and
Is
the
it
new Reefs tires.
is it brass or gold? Hang on, we're coming back to Reese
It's
tires. Is it
gold. It's
brass
not
or
brass.
gold? It's not
Gold.
brass.
Gold
Gold.
anodized. Yeah.
Dude. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. This
Wow,
is
wow,
chassis.
wow.
This is the H-Tech chassis. This is chassis number 10.
What's
And I
going
got
on
it
with
in
the steering up front? You have a whole different steering piece on there. Is that?
hydro. That's H10. It's got the hydro in the center. And then
Yeah.
the links are Vanquish links with a 10 millimeter insert in the center of them. These are the
Okay.
rebuildable Vanquish links.
Okay.
So it's, a
Wow.
little more blue and gold in there.
Yeah. No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Wow. What that is a sexy, sexy, clean beast.
Yeah.
Now, what
And
size tire is that? And you just
so
said
this is a 475, and that is a 419. So you can kind of see the difference in size of trucks here.
heck yeah. So I didn't know is Reef officially doing a tire on the
Yeah. So
website or
he's got two different tires. He's got the pins, which are the cheaters, and these are the crux. The crux is also a comp tire. It's a comp compound, a little more of a trail pattern. WCCRA letters legal, not Sorca legal because it has a void in the tread, but
okay.
Sorca is doing Sorca. But the WRCCA or whatever it is, they're legal for that. Wyatt actually ran them in Italy when he finished in Worlds. So the tires are fantastic. These have about 60-ish miles on them. I ran these, kind of got them right after Beat the Creek.
Are they coming with foam?
They will come with a foam. There's two companies that are 3D printing inserts specifically for them, for the interior
Is that
carpet.
how they're going to move forward then? It will be a TPU ish.
It's ish, yeah. There's experimental foams in or printed inserts in these, but there's a couple companies. Exo Caged RC's making some, and there's another company that's making some that are in that TPU-ish directional kind of pattern.
They exploded this year.
Yeah.
Like within the last two, they just took off. Everybody got on board. Everybody seems to do a version of silicone or some type of pliable foam.
These I've ran with the Endura silicones that I cut the sides off of so they didn't have that side bulge. I've run them with the Endura 2-stage foams, these printed ones. the pin tires. I ran with all of those foams and a set of the experimental TPU inserts. But yeah, they're a thing, and they're coming out in January, I think, is when he's going to start shipping them.
So if I
But
was building a
he did.
3,000 piece puzzle, if I was putting together a puzzle right now,
Mhm.
how many pieces would I be short to building a full truck with what Reef is doing? Like, I feel like I'm almost
Yeah.
there. How many pieces am I missing?
So you would need axles, chassis,
Those seem like low hanging fruit. Like, I can't believe he
axles and
didn't chip
chassis.
away at them yet. Like,
Yeah,
that's,
axles and chassis, electronics, if that's a ready to run thing.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
the ESC radio.
Kit.
But
We'll
yeah,
call it. We'll go easy. We'll go kit.
yeah, it's not far off, I'm sure.
It's not far off. I'm
But
almost
I mean,
wow.
as a
We
personal
went.
goal for him, it's been a thing for a while, and I mean, he has engineers building all these cool
He built a
things,
team.
and
He's got an army
yeah,
around him
yeah,
of
yeah,
well versed, talented brains. They've got it all,
uh-huh,
and he's got the connections. Holy shit, he's got
yeah, yeah,
connections. Oh
yeah. He's built a very solid network. Um,
wow.
like this
So
this truck has a Reefs trans in it.
yep,
My portal optic is running a Reefs transmission in it.
you've embraced that Reefs trans like 110%. You're putting that
There's
everywhere.
there's a 1515 motor in my portal on the Reefs trans, and it's loving it. It's taking it. The thing's got jumping ability like a grasshopper. It just flies. Um, that's on it's a 2400 kV 1515 Castle motor, 5 mil shaft. So
Wow.
yeah, they hold up definitely.
Wow. So
Yeah,
the gold is sexy, dude. Trill
yeah,
killed it. Trill
yeah.
is making some sexy gold parts, and they've done a great job. Playing in a sandbox with Vanquish customers is not
Yeah,
something you want to always
it's a,
do. They can,
so it's a
if
risky
it goes
business.
wrong, it's a risky
Yeah,
deal. You
yeah.
you
So with
can
Vanquish is still, they might be anywhere from a day to 6 months out on the H10 axles. They keep teasing them, but they'll never tell you when they're releasing. So Trio having a machined Vanquish axle ready part with larger bearings in it, so it is different. It just has larger pinion bearings, which is fantastic. I mean, why not? Yeah, they're killing it. The golds went out of stock already once, and I think they restocked. The black and silver have both run out of stock and been restocked. So that tells me that there's probably over 1,000 of these sets in the community. That's a
with
lot.
with no real disaster, with no horror
No,
story, with
no,
no, I mean, and it
no.
does happen. I mean, they
I
had
mean,
the V1 Capra
oh
axle
yeah, that was a
disaster.
disaster.
Remember
Yeah,
that
yeah,
disaster?
yeah,
So it does happen.
yeah.
A
Their
mistake in the
QC guy,
tooling.
their QC guy is really good. He
Oh yeah,
he
you
prevents a
heard.
lot of accidents.
He can't prevent them all, but he does what he
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, and I've had several people ask, why doesn't Triel just make the axle shafts and the CVDs for these and make them complete? That's
No, wait,
not what.
your cape is showing. You tuck
Yeah,
it back a little
yeah.
bit.
But those hard parts, I don't think they'll ever really get around to making them. They made them on the 24 scale, but I don't think they're going to do them for the full size shafts, axle shafts. I don't think it's something that they want to get into. That's a lot of hardened steel, probably not easy to come by. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So, do you want to talk about Blake, or is that still under wraps?
Nah, we'll let that one.
We'll hold
We'll
off
let
on
that one
that.
go
All
until it's done. But I am in the Scale Builders Guild build along for
Build
this.
a.
Yeah, so they're doing a Unimog, Volvo. Sorry, not Unimog.
Oh, is that what
Volvo
you were printing? Okay.
306. Yeah. So it's a cab
So
only on a VS410 or SCX10 TRX4 chassis, whatever you desire.
where do you get this Mog body from? Is
So
that
the Volvo body, it's a body that's it's relatively inexpensive. It's $10 on a
okay?
that you buy the file and then you can print it home. And we're just doing a build along. So it's on the Scale Builders Guild forum.
Where do you find this? Is there a link to the
It's
body
on
anywhere?
it's on the forum.
On
So
the
if you go
forum.
to the forum and you go to the off-road build section, you'll see that build along title. And then in the first post is where it tells you where to go to get
Now,
the download.
you're not saying build off. Like
No, it's a build
this is
along.
build along. How
Yeah.
far along is it? Or is there still a point where
So,
somebody could jump in, or are we too far along?
absolutely. So I think I saw like 4 or 5 commitments on there to build. I've seen 3 besides Matt Kett. I've seen 3 people actually start printing.
Well,
Myself
what's
included.
interesting is this MOG idea has been on my radar, and I've got
Oh yeah. Well,
several
it's not a MOG.
donors.
It's
Not
not
a
a MOG.
MOG.
It's a Volvo.
Not a
It's a
okay.
Volvo. So, it's a Volvo. So
But
this is the roof is a
still,
separate
is it?
panel.
It's still a cab over design, or
Yeah, it's a cab over. So
okay,
there's a whole detailed dash interior.
that all comes in the file.
Yeah, this is the large cab structure. I think this is the largest file in there. This was a 9-hour print on my Bamboo at
Wow.
I think I did it on 20. Yeah, 0.2 resolution.
This
So
is what
it's
he
rough.
did in ABS, and then I
Yeah.
saw his tip where he was
Yeah.
filling lines with the melted in
Yeah.
the make with the ABS.
Yeah, when you print in ABS, you always save your support material because then you can put your MEK
Slurry.
in it and you can make slurry. But this actually came out a hell of a lot better on 20 than I expected. And all I got to do is sand it. I don't really have any fill work
No
to do
fill.
on the cab.
Wow.
So I think this is just sand. This is also ABS. So I like burned through some ABS color stuff that I had. This one's got some hatch marks where it got hot on the top layer.
Yep.
But I'm sanding it anyway. So it doesn't really bother me at all.
What component is that? The roof?
This is the roof. Yeah.
Okay.
So it literally snaps on. So it's a big cab. I mean, it's a big cab, but on a VS410, it's the right width.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put, since I got a VRD carbon, I'm going to steal the axles out of that, and I'll have portals because a Volvo has portals.
Yep.
So I got about, I think I got 6 more plates to print before I can start assembling cab. And I'm just printing them at night. So that cab is 9 hours on a Bamboo at 20. So, and it fills the bed. So if you have anything smaller than that, you're going to have to reorient that cab.
Wow.
Hey, Glenn. Yeah. So the build along. So yeah, I'm staying busy. I got projects all over the place, plus customer projects. I haven't even started my tractor yet. But yeah. And it's too cold to run, so I'm just building. It's too cold to run outside right now. So
do you still have the Blizzard? Is that what they called that one? The Blizzard plow?
Yeah.
Do you run a plow on that, or do you have a blower?
Plow. I haven't done the blower yet. It's too expensive.
What is it, like
and it's
$30? It's like
30.
30,
It's
isn't
like
it?
400 by the time you build it. It's
Really? I
expensive.
saw a file. I saw a file that
Yeah.
well, no, wait.
Until,
I went down a rabbit hole. Hang on. I first found a file where I thought it was free, and I bought
mm,
filament. I was going to begin to make a blower. Then I realized all I was buying was a stupid mod. That's all it was. It was like this one
yeah.
component that went with the print.
Yeah.
That was not what we got. So I
Yeah.
know what you're saying.
Spiker is the place to go if you're gonna build a blower. Spiker is the place to go. He has kits for purpose built, like not scale small snow blowers. So they're like a tank, like they're a flat top. They're very weighty, like heavy, made to do snow blowing remotely. And they have the ones for the blizzard and such. But by the time you buy the internals, the the shafts, the proprietary gear sets, all that stuff to run them, and to print all of that material, you're about $400 deep.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. Until, like, if I found one used, I would probably pick it up just because it had the internals and I could print replacements or whatever. But they're just
They're intense.
it's
Okay.
too expensive.
For the
The
amount of snow and
Yeah,
no, I
yeah,
get it.
and I get it. It's a lot of work to create that from scratch. I got it. Like, I know it's a lot of design work, and it's a fantastic two-stage snowblower. Like, it's a legit snowblower.
Wow.
It's not cheaply made. It's quality. It's got great design, but yeah, not enough use for it here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We're not in Alaska.
No.
Well, we'll play with the V plow then this winter, hopefully. Well, I'm sure we're going to get some snow this year. I'm sure.
I hope so. I want to do my driveway again.
Yeah.
And that takes forever with a Kyosho blizzard, by the way. pack a lunch and a dinner because you're going to be there a while for a 2-car driveway in 2 inches of snow. Like, woof.
You're doing it because you want to at that point. This
Yes.
isn't for effective
Yes.
speed.
And you got to do it at night with the flashers running, the strobes, the whirly lights. Like, it draws attention. It's just something fun to do.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, that takes us into an hour 15. Where are we at? Are we at the last holiday show before Christmas? Where does this take us? This takes us up to the 21st. We'll be here.
Yeah,
Well, we might be able to do something the weekend
Yeah.
of Christmas falls on a crappy day this year. Being on a Wednesday, that means everybody's going to be at work on a Tuesday and right back to the grind on a Thursday. But,
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's this work thing you speak of?
Yeah, what's this work thing we speak of? Oh boy! As we're here, the carry-out orders are still coming in. It's been a
Good.
hell of a winter. I'm gonna have to reach out to this guy here. This is Oregon. I will message him in a minute. What I was ironically, as that order just came in, I was going to tell you a short story, kind of heartfelt. We met a guy from Hanover, Pennsylvania, which seems to be on the border near you there in Maryland. So
Yeah, Hanover's northwest of me. Yeah.
Okay. She said south of Philly, below me, that direction. Because I say she, we spend a lot of time on the phone with mothers, wives, girlfriends this time of year that have all gotten links from someone.
Yeah.
So we try to make the experience easier for them because they don't know what they're ordering, what they're getting. And we try to make it a little bit custom, and you will appreciate this. We did a blue, and that was all she could tell me was, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. I'm confused. We did it in a purple. She actually picked a Dino RC bag in purple. But that actually says RC Diva on it. That it plain as day RC Diva bag. And I reached out and I said, if this is for a gift, I'm assuming he doesn't want to have Diva on the bag. And I said, can you tell me? And she's like, let me tell you why we got here, how we got here to purple. They recently lost their oldest son. He was 23 years old. Just recently lost him in a car crash, and purple was his son's favorite color. So sort of as a memorial tribute to his son, we're doing this purple. Just really made us all step back for a second, and it makes you feel good, and you understand what is going out the door. And sometimes we make fun, we poke the bear because it's got a G speed or a novelty Reefs logo on it. Sometimes they just mean that much more. There's a whole reason why they're picking a certain color, and it's not just because they like it. There's meaning in it, and it was just one of those feel-good stories to see that one go out there, and it will be under the tree in time for Christmas. An epic surprise for him. I mean, he has no idea the little extras that we did just to make it that much more special in loving memory of his son. So hopefully we do get a chance to cross paths one day, maybe after Christmas. So I left my phone number to maybe he'll text me and we can powwow later.
Yeah, that's cool. And being in Hanover,
I have a feeling.
I mean,
I have a feeling he's maybe cross paths with someone we know.
Yeah.
So other than that, we'll watch the Eagles tomorrow, the Pennsylvania showdown against Pittsburgh. So we'll see how we deal with that mess tomorrow.
Raymond, Glenn, I shipped your order. I packed your order. I can't ship until Monday. I got it.
Nice.
I appreciate that. Raymond's a good guy. He buys stuff.
Oh, I love it.
He's good Raymond, without buying stuff. He's just a good guy.
Raymond, good shit. I love it.
And so like I typed in, Volvo Sweden versus German Unimog, like probably wouldn't have that conversation in a bar in Belgium.
Did you put the link up here somewhere or no? Did you type
link for what?
Either the forum or for this Volvo.
The SBG forum.
What you? Yeah, I didn't.
Let me see if I can find a.
And you're saying forum? Did they still have them?
Forum. Yes, SBG is a forum. It is a way to document your builds, and it still lives.
It's 2025. Like I haven't heard forum in a while.
Well, so when you're building these crazy things, one thing that you can't do on Facebook is log your build in a timeline.
It gets lost.
It's hard to interact. And this is where forums have the power, right? Because you can absolutely like just log your build. You can keep it like on the RC Crawler forum of the 90s into the early 2000s. I still have builds on there and pictures of builds from the late 1900s, as people would say. They're still cataloged there. The photos are still hosted. It's a great way to it's a great history lesson. But it's forums are alive. I have the link here. I'll put it in the chat.
So hypothetically, if you started this forum and you uploaded a project, you printed the body today, you could go back tomorrow and upload the image of the roof, and it's all kind of keeping it together.
Yeah.
That is
so in the I put the link in the chat. But when you go to the forum and you look at this, you don't have to be a member to look and view and all that stuff. If you want to be a member, go for it. But it's a great way to look at what other people are doing and how they do them. So a lot of the TTPs, the tactics and procedures of scale building in RC are hosted on this site with probably the masters level contributors. There's some epic builds on here that are just worth sitting and going through. If you've never sat through Metal Masher's creation of his aluminum Toyota highly detailed truck that he did for RC four-wheel drive, that's one that you could spend days going through and reading, not hours, days, because there's 70 something pages of 15 posts per page with all the detail and how he does what he does. And there's hundreds of people on there doing the same thing in different mediums. So huge shout out to SPG for keeping up with it.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Well, hey, that's where they've got the notch. That sounds like an absolute pro.
Yep.
I dig it.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Yep. Links in there.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. So
all right, sir.
I'm trying to think what else is kind of happening, but that's pretty much about it. Yeah. I don't have much else going on.
Well, yeah, that you can say publicly and disclose now, but
yeah,
bro, it's been a great 2 weeks. I mean, I don't want to gloss over the CalRC USO, the unidentified scale objects have been identified. It is CalRC for the win. Honestly, I remember somebody teasing these like a year ago. I'm so glad you were able to help get this thing across the finish line. It seems appropriate, and you're putting those little extras that we're going to, reap the benefits of getting those decals. That is a massive freaking plus.
Yes.
Not worth me buying a file to have that little extra.
Just to pay for the decals that I purchased. So there's half of the inventory went to CalRC for him to do with what he wishes. The other half of the inventory, so I just cut a number and said, hey, this is how many I'm going to make, and then we'll see what demand does. The team, the Cal team people are buying them up.
They're going to eat them up,
obviously.
Yeah.
So there's not much left for the public to go. So what is left for the public is the count that's on my Etsy. So if it says it's in stock on Etsy, that's all there is.
Dude, there's like 60 guys on that Cal team, so that's going to get eaten up.
I don't have enough. I did not make enough for all of them. So some of them aren't scale people, but it's cool to have it on your workbench, and you can
find a place to use it.
Yeah, like all of those little cans and stuff, you could just hot glue them onto that work mat and just have it sitting on your race bench. It's kind of a talk. The conversation.
Conversation starter, sure. But there's enough scale guys that are going to eat this up. It's going to change the look of many scale garages and be that extra piece.
And to do the decal sheet again, I would have to have kind of significant interest to do it because this is a ton of work. If you've never printed 400 paint cans, because there's 4 in every kit, so that tells you how many I made. But there's 400 of these. That's the hours in printing that I have in this collection in those few pieces.
Is that the one with the removable lid? Does the lid pop off or no?
No,
it's not. Okay.
No,
I've printed them already with the removable lid, and you got the nozzle.
The ridge line is in there. No nozzles, no nothing. But like these mats in 2 color, I can only do 6 on a print bed at a time, and that's for 6 of them is almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
So it's a significant time investment to bring these out, which is why it was hard to find somebody to do them.
I think you can have fun marketing that, though. You can do it in small batches. You know, every so often you throw them up in small batches, and when they go, they go.
And that's probably what I'll do.
Like Scale Builders Guild and their
with
sticker.
the decals. Yeah.
Yep. With the, you know, those you get a time window of like 24 hours, and then they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably do them that way. Like I said, what's on Etsy is really all I have in stock, and they're ready to go as soon as you order it. Like Raymond's, I packed it, so
perfect.
I have them here. They're built, so they're ready to go. But.
And as word of mouth begins to spread, and James begins to get some content shot up, and people again to break it down, as the word of mouth begins to steamroll, you'll see. As they start leaking out there, and the team guys start spreading it around. Listen,
because honestly, if you really want them in Scale Garage and you really want them to look right, they got to be done in 2-color, and they got to be
2-color. They got to have the decal. Otherwise,
and you got to do the decal some way, shape, or form. You got to do the decal correct.
It's the detail. I mean, the devil.
Always
devil is over there. All right, boss. We're gonna call it. Great work. Congratulations on a freaking awesome run. I mean, that is just big news and very exciting. So I'm awesome.
Thank you.
We will plan on being back here next Saturday.
We'll give it a shot. As long as there's no holiday party that I'm not tracking. There might be.
Yes. I'm gonna leave the 21st open in limbo. We'll go into it lighthearted because it is the holiday season, I know, and holiday parties and everything else is happening. We'll go into it lighthearted, and if it works, it works. And we'll take it from there.
If not, we'll do a roll up. We'll do predictions, 2025 predictions, what we're going to see, or what brand might not be around.
I want to recap the 24 and predict the 25. So keep your eyes in the sky. Be looking for any falling debris from a drones. It's a drone.
And somebody said in here, they might not be drones coming in. They might just be leaving. They might be like, we're out.
We're out.
Aliens don't always visit. Sometimes they're like, where's your plane leaving? They're like, you guys are screwing us up so bad, we're out of here.
You never know.
Never know.
You never know. There was a meteor shower last night. Did you happen to catch any of that? No, no UFO. A meteor shower, bro. It's completely. I went outside to let the dog pee, and in a 5-minute time span, I saw 4 shooting stars. It was the coolest moment. Like, timed it just right. You don't see them often, and I happened to catch one, and then caught another and another, and very cool. I was looking for a drone. You caught me. Yes, I will admit it. But
I mean, if they're really being sneaky at night and they're doing something.
We're not going to abide by FAA rules.
Why do they have the flashing lights on them? Like, if they're doing something nefarious, you're not going to see or hear them. So if they have flashing lights and they're with the FAA, like,
did you hear what the Pat McAfee show dropped? What they shared on the Pat McAfee show was that they are the United States government drones, and they have something called a sniffer, which I would detect some sort of a filter, a nose that it detects, and it is looking for a dirty bomb. And that is what is out there, and it's trying to find it before it goes off. Now, that kind of stuff is I don't even want to call it disinformation. I'm just saying that you're putting fear into people when you start putting that out there. But I have to lean on a part of it and say, I do think it's something to do with the government, that they do know whose it is. With the blinking lights, bro, I don't know. It's got people.
I mean, look what they did to the. I'm not going to get into it big time, but all the airplanes have to be on that band, right?
Yep.
The the FAA,
Yeah,
they have to have that serial number so they can be identified, right?
you can
If these
look at
are
any given time and
yeah,
see who is in the
if
air.
these are nuisance drones that aren't operating within the spectrum that they're supposed to be and within the law set, the FAA can take them down legally
I
over safe places. So if they're flying over top of houses and playgrounds and schools, they can't knock them down out of the sky.
This is that gray area where, it's
Yeah,
just not so simple to start shooting. You
yeah.
want to make
Don't
sure
shoot
they come.
drones. Don't
Yeah,
do that because you're going to end up in jail
I've
10 times faster
well,
than the idiot that's flying a drone over your house. And he's
you've
probably
got
not taking
people,
pictures of high quality at night.
right.
So worry about the
You've
ones that
got
are in
people
daytime.
shooting up. You got people shooting at them, and you've got people now, hobbyists, sending their drones up to try and chase them or
Yeah.
observe them. Yeah, if this doesn't
Kinda
get
like,
a capital real soon, I don't want it to get too far out of
yeah.
hand. So hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully next week we're
This is how honest people go to jail is trying to
yeah.
chase shit like this. Like, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
All right,
All right.
all right,
We're
good
out.
stuff. All right,
Yep.
thank you, sir. Keep up the good
All right.
work, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Take care.
Fade to black. I'm just gonna pull a hard plug.
See.